Why today? The improved package has arrived. We're having it fitted in time for FP1. Have a look at the factory report.
Hi guys, and welcome back to F1 2017 Career Mode. We have finally got the aerodynamics front downforce upgrade installed on the car now, so that'll put us plus 1.08% better downforce basically, so that'll put us ahead of Sauber. So we haven't got the worst aero anymore, which is good. And despite that, however, we're still pretty good with the aero. I think our chassis makes up for it, I'll be quite honest with you. But as you can see, we've unlocked the next upgrade in the tree, so the front kind of like the flaps at the front on the front wing. So we'll save up for that at some point, but we also need to do the rear downforce as well, so the rear wing. That'll help us as well, but at this stage the upgrades haven't been coming as quickly. I think the other teams this year have kind of reduced their kind of upgrade development time because things can fail now. So not a lot of teams have made upgrades, which is pretty good actually, so we're still in a reasonably good position. We don't really need to upgrade much actually for the midfield because we're pretty much competitive, but as you can see, we've got the gearbox, we've got the second upgrade for the gearbox on the way, and hopefully that'll help decrease the wear for the gearbox, because our gearbox isn't too great. You'll see why later on. But the other upgrades we can add are probably like the ICE, that's the only kind of other upgrade we can do, but that's going to be it for the resource tree. So before we get into the race, let's take a quick look at the grid ahead of the Russian Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel beats Lewis Hamilton to pole position for Ferrari. Lewis Hamilton, of course, lining up in P2, outperforming his teammate. P3 goes to Kimi Raikkonen for the first time being behind Vettel in qualifying. P4 goes to Valtteri Bottas. P5 and P6 go to the two Red Bulls of Ricciardo and Verstappen, followed behind by the two Williams cars of Stroll and Massa. P9 goes to Sergio Perez, and P10 and 11 go to the two Renaults of Jolyon Palmer and Nico Hülkenberg. P12 lines up ourselves in the first Haas with a spectacular qualifying, in fact probably the best this season. P13 goes to Esteban Ocon. P14 and 15 go to Sainz and Kvyat in Toro Rossos. P16 goes to Marcus Ericsson. Fernando Alonso lining up in P17 for McLaren Honda. P18 to Pascal Wehrlein. Stoffel van Dorn in P19. And rounding off the grid is Kevin Magnussen in P20, who didn't set a time and unfortunately retired in the mid part of his qualifying lap.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
So Magnussen did have issues in qualifying. Hopefully we don't have as many issues, but our strategy is going to be super soft, ultra soft. Just going through the setup, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to go the longest first. Go on long stint. We're not going to use the soft tyres because they were atrocious, and I don't see the point. But there's the fuel absolutely got. I think we've only got like 0.1 like over like the race distance of spare fuel, so we can kind of save fuel. But 5 red lights for the Russian Grand Prix. Lights out, and away we go. Jolyon Palmer. What a shocker. Every time, every single time you get to shocker. But as we head down to turn 1, well in fact through turn 1, there's a lot of cars that were battling side by side. Front wing coming off there as we go down the inside there of Max Verstappen. I did get a warning for contact there, but it was very, very brief. As you can see, it's on screen now. Very brief contact. And now Lance Stroll goes round the outside with the ultra soft tyres, obviously the grippier tyre. So we're going to try and catch back up to him and re-overtake him after our little turn 2 incident where we basically cut the entire corner. Lap 2, coming on to lap 3. Lance Stroll just ahead of us. He's very, very slow on those ultra softs. Surprisingly, he's in a Williams car, which is actually the better car in our eyes, but we're catching him on super softs, which is a little bit weird. I don't know how that's happening. But we have DRS. We will be within DRS range because of the detection point I've just crossed over. We certainly are. Activate that DRS. Get in the slipstream of Lance Stroll. Try and catch back up to him, but hopefully we'll have him under braking. In fact, we do have him under braking. As you can see, we close right up to the back there. But then it has to take up until like going on to lap 4 before we even have a great chance here. And now we have issues with the gearbox. The gearbox is now wearing. This is not going to be a fun race. If these wearing issues get worse, I can just see our race going severely downhill. But we're in the slipstream of Lance Stroll, overtaking him just before the DRS zone and so close to actually making contact and him bashing me into the wall. So I go defensive just to try and fend him off, trying to give myself some kind of advantage because he would have had the slipstream. Obviously he doesn't. And going into turn 3, a very long turn 3, he's still right on the back of us. I'm trying now to try and fend him off, so it's going to be a difficult race with him behind me because he's within DRS range. But it's lap 5 going on to lap 6. We've pulled a little bit away from him, not too much, just a little bit. We have Sergio Perez, in fact, behind us, so Stroll did get overtaken, in fact, or he pitted. I can't exactly remember, but Perez, in a straight line in that Force India, on the straightaway, we're just sitting ducks. We have to go to the inside, we have no choice but to, as we go down into turn 2. As you can see, trying to fend off Perez, but Perez takes the inside line for turn 3. Boom, he's there, he follows the racing line, I switch, go down the inside, he blocks me off. I have to then go round the outside, turns to the inside for this corner, under the brakes, we have him. The chassis is brilliant, that is why we can overtake there. Just simple as that, and now it's lap 6 as we come towards the end of lap here. So basically Perez is now trying to get the slipstream, goes round the outside. Ricciardo might get involved here as we go down into this corner, taking the inside line, braking, a little bit of contact, in fact a lot of contact. Perez gets the advantage, I let him through in fact because that was a little bit unfair, and he backs out of that move and we just about hold the position. And through this section, this is where we're pretty strong when you nail it spot on. We're pretty much flying through here. We're still in P5, believe it or not. In fact, we're the highest running super soft runner in the whole of the Grand Prix. And this is going to be fun. Vettel's in first. It's 13 seconds to the next Ferrari. Perez is behind us again. So we're going to have to, once again, do exactly what we did last time and go defensive. But here we go. Perez, in fact, has got a better idea. He's got the slipstream of us as we go down into this corner. Just about... Whoa, hold on. The back slid out. The back slid out there. What's happened? Something must have gone wrong there. We'll see into this corner though as we go around it to turn 3. Turn 4. Let's go. Let's see what the problem is. Can't see it there. And now the engineers just confirmed my worst fears. The gearbox has lost a gear. It's lost a gear. Now this is pretty crucial here because I believe it was second gear that we lost. And that is why the back slid out at that point. But now onto lap 12. We're in P4, highest running super soft runner again. We let Vettel past, he's on a fresh set of tyres. We're not battling Ferrari, what's the point? Just let him through. P4 now as we are heading into lap 16. In fact, we've gone a lot longer than what I would anticipate on these tyres, surprisingly. And yeah, I think we're still pretty much down a gear. I hope not though, we'll see as we come into the pit lane. In fact, no, we got second back. So midway through that time when I lost a gear and then coming into the pit lane, I magically got second back. I hope this issue does not become like really serious. I just don't want that to happen. But here we are into the pit lane. Ultra soft tyres, our only stop of the day, believe it or not. And now we're back out again, ready to fight the other cars. Now we've got to make sure we're ahead of Perez, and obviously we'll Stroll. I don't know where he is. As we disengage the pit limiter, let's see where we'll come out. We have Julian Palmer coming down the back straight, and in fact, we're probably going to rejoin. Are we going to rejoin ahead of Perez? That's the question. In fact, we try and battle with Palmer down into turn 1 as he nearly cuts right into me. And in fact, it's Lance Stroll. Our friend Lance Stroll is back, so kind of the undercut didn't work. And his strategy didn't work. So we've got the advantage just after our long stint. So the Ultra Softs kind of didn't work for the Williams of Stroll there. Don't know what happened. But yeah, P12. And as we go further into the lap, look at this, go down the inside of Julian Palmer towards the end of the lap there. That was insane, I did not expect it at all. We're up into P9, lap 20, we are nearly at the end of the race. and Esteban Ocon. I keep saying Sebastian Ocon, I don't know why, but Ocon's ahead of us. Palmer's behind us. We overtook him, obviously, as we brake. As we brake down in here, I don't even know what the engineer was saying there. I think someone's gone. Yeah, you can see on the map, there's yellow sectors. So we're going to have to be very careful. I don't know whether someone has crashed, whether someone has got a puncture, whether someone... Oh, wait, but now we've got a virtual safety car. What has happened here? What could have caused this? Oh, look, I can see a car. I can see a car. Whoa, it's Stoffel Van Dorn. Stoffel Van Dorn has got possibly a puncture. I can't justify any other reason to why he's going that slowly. So we've got a virtual safety car. This will help tyre wear and fuel. As you can see, I'm going into lean mix to save some for the end. To probably push, but as we have to stay under our delta, it has to stay green, because otherwise you'll get a penalty if it goes green flags and you're in the red, which I am now. You'll just get a drive-through penalty. So we're just going to have to try and stay behind Ocon, and in fact during this virtual safety car I think Ocon might have lost time as such, but I'm just trying to keep my delta in the green. And we're just about to go racing. Once again, green flags have waved and we are underway. DRS is once again enabled. With the virtual safety car, the DRS is enabled straight away after. So we didn't even get DRS on that lap, but lap 21, we have finally caught up to Ocon. He's getting held up by Perez. So Perez jumped us within the stop somehow. A bit weird. But yeah, as we go down into turn 1, which is this little kink here, activate the DRS, try and get Ocon in the straight line. That's not going to happen. Under brakes though, as you can see, close massively up to him. And all we have to do is push. Just push, push, push. To try and get him. And as you can see, going down into this corner, braking, and we have absolutely stuffed the exit. Still quite near him actually, surprisingly. Yeah, this corner, that is not good with the exits there, so we have to try and still keep up with Ocon, which is going to be a little bit difficult. It's Ocon and Perez ahead of us, but as you can see, we're going to try it down the inside here, and we have absolutely done him in a similar place to where we did Palmer. We overtook him. Alright, so now we've got another issue with the engine. MGU-H has to be regulated, so we can't overheat the engine. Otherwise, this is bad, because it will overheat the engine if the part wears down enough. But yeah, we're within DRS range of Perez here. As you can see, going onto this other long straight, which we're going to be hopeless within a straight line, so the DRS will kind of help us a little bit. And we're not really gaining on him, to be honest, as you can probably guess, and in fact Force India do have a better engine, so it does make sense. But as you can see under braking, geez, I'm just boiling the brakes. We're right up to the back of him now, and perhaps we could probably take a look down here, but I decided against it. And in fact I'm trying to get a good line, trying to get a very good line through that corner. In fact that was the best line I've ever taken there. And we go down the inside just before the pit entrance, and we just about make it stick, squeeze him out, a little bit of contact, he's still there. Down the inside of this final corner, and we've got him for P7. And now, once again, we're in the same situation as we were pretty much on lap 20, where we've got Perez behind us. What can we do? Go to the inside, that's the only thing we can do. We'll have him under brakes, hopefully. Squeezing him a little bit. Down the inside, and we've taken Perez. But wait, the gearbox! The gearbox, you can see, we basically had a long fifth gear there and it wouldn't shift up, and as you can see we're braking into this corner, there's no engine braking at all, so that makes me go wide. We have acceleration issues, we have braking issues with the kind of like engine, because the engine normally brakes for you, but as you can see we're just trying to hold Ocon here, but with a damaged gearbox and a kind of like shifting like kind of fault. As you can see, look, that is how much it's affected me, gone way off circuit. This is just embarrassing. We got overtaken by 2 cars. If this issue goes on for any longer, we'll have massive issues here. Because Lance Stroll, with our issue, will catch up within it, like this straight. As you can see. I'm just lifting off the throttle until it changes gear, because, of course, 1, MGU-H. We don't want to overheat the engine. We don't want to damage that part. We don't want to burn fuel when it's not really necessary, and it'll just wreck the engine anyway. And you can just see it's just shifting up and down randomly. There's no engine braking at all, so it's just sole emphasis on the brakes. So now I'm going to have to brake a little bit earlier for each corner. I'm going to have to anticipate my new braking points, because this gearbox now is just at 68% and we have shifting issues. As you can see, Lance Stroll closing quickly on us here, and he's in a Williams car. We're normally pretty quick, but obviously this issue's not helping. So we'll see. We're going down into turn 2. In fact, Stroll hasn't caught up too much, so in a straight line we can probably help this. But then I'll lock up. Again, we have the same issue as before. No engine braking at all. It just stayed in 8th. And now we have shifting. We still again have shifting issues. It's just going up and down randomly. As we go down, yeah, there we go again. It stayed in 8th gear. So this is not good for us. We're in a points position, and now look at it. We're on lap 25. We've locked up again. We've gone off track. This is not good. We've got Nico Hülkenberg behind us. And now he's just going to try and... In fact, he nearly knocked me off the circuit. Cut back line on Hülkenberg. We can fight him, and in fact, I'm going to fight him for position. Even though we've got a damaged gearbox, we're certainly keeping way up to the back of him here. And now as we go down into this corner, in fact, we've actually got some braking back. We've got some engine braking. That's fantastic news. So we just about managed to stay ahead of Nico Hülkenberg for P11. And of course we have to catch up to Ricciardo and Stroll. Of course. That's going to be a very, very hard task. If we get points at the end of this race, given the issues we've had, it'll be a miracle. Honestly. And as you can see, I just completely muck up that corner, go superiorly wide. And now I've got Nico Hülkenberg on the back of me again, so this is going to be fun going down into the turn 1 DRS zone, because Hülkenberg will have DRS. No way I'm going to break that gap to him, but you know, I think the gearbox is working okay. I think we've got good functionality of the gearbox back, and at the end of the race here, it's just raining. In fact, I think our gearbox issues were pretty much like non-existent throughout the rest of this race, surprisingly. So the gearbox actually fixed itself. Don't know how that happened, but as we come through the final corner, we've got Hülkenberg on the back of us. It's going to be, unfortunately, P11. No points today. Our point streak comes to an end, but we still finish ahead of where the team expected. So P11 instead of P14. That was the target, but you know, that's a good race. What a good race. Too bad about the end though, but Mercedes taking, I think it's their first victory, or one of the first victories in this career mode, because normally it's just, you see Raikkonen winning all the time, and Vettel on the podium, so not too bad at all. We, unfortunately, finishing P11, but our teammate obviously kind of didn't finish ahead of us, which is surprising because I had gearbox issues. So that's a good point to take away, that we finished ahead of our teammate despite gearbox shifting issues. But yeah, Perez and Ocon, surprisingly good results for them. So I wonder what that'll do for the championship. The majority of the field doing a one-stop here. And we had 2 DNFs, one from Alonso, what a surprise, and Marcus Ericsson in the Sauber, so the 2 worst teams not really getting anything there. As we take a look at the drivers' standings, we are P9 with 13 points, 1 ahead of Perez though, and not too far away from Ocon, about 4 points there. So Raikkonen still leads, 87 points, 20 behind lies Lewis Hamilton, and 36 behind is Sebastian Vettel, so Vettel needs to kind of pull his socks up a little bit. But Magnussen with 2 points is in P14 in the championship, so he's kind of contributed points towards our kind of campaign here, but we've got 15 points, we're in 6th. That's probably the highest we're going to finish this season, I guarantee it, unless we get Williams at some point. But as we reach the end of the session and gather our resource points, we've got 640 of them, which is good, because hopefully after that, if we get this new gearbox upgrade, we can then start saving for other stuff. So we're leading the rivalry over Magnussen. In fact, we've got pretty much green in everything, so 21 points. We're nearly like kind of beat him in the rivalry. And we've also got a lot of rep for the lower teams, a little bit increase for Red Bull, Ferrari and Mercedes. Obviously, Williams dropping back, and Force India. There are rivals, pretty much. That's why they don't like us. But we've got a kind of classic event now, so an invitational. We're going to be doing the time attack at Austria in the 1991 McLaren MP4/6. I'm not going to show you the whole invitational, but this is just a little snippet of how the car sounds. In fact, I'm just going to shut up for the rest of this lap. The car sounds awesome. So yeah, that's the McLaren. That is a pretty good sounding car, in fact. And we just about pass the invitational with only 2 seconds to spare. Look at that shot, that's just amazing. But that's going to be it for this episode of F1 2017 Career Mode. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe for more content, and hopefully by next episode we won't have issues again. Oh wait, we've got an upgrade.
Okay, I've got something for you. The new parts have been fitted to the car. The simulation numbers are good, so look forward to your feedback. Check out the details.
Alright, so we have a new upgrade. It's the gearbox wear. The second upgrade. So that's going to be it for me, and I shall see you all next time.